Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are at Casa del Chelling, Sylvester. Right, we're at home. And today we have got a Q&A for you all. So as promised, a monthly Q&A is going down, answering all of your questions. So Joe, the man behind the camera, JS Captures, filming / videography extraordinaire, is on it. And we do have another bout of questions. So guys, the way this works, comment below in the video if you want your questions answered, and I will do it in the monthly Q&A. I might even do like a live soon and do a Q&A live. I will announce that first, just so people can actually get ready for it. So without further ado, I'll let the man behind the lens get with the question number one. Let's get it.
So question number one is, what's your thoughts on NAD plus injections?
NAD plus injections, it works, but I do think you can probably get NAD in powdered form as well. So yeah, I mean, the bioavailability of it in powdered form is good enough for you to take it in oral form. So you don't really have to inject it, but if you do have access to it injectable, absolutely use it. I do personally have a monthly IV from Dave with all the vitamins and minerals and glutathione every single month. And that does work, in my opinion, pretty well, especially when it comes to extra antioxidants. So yeah, sure, do it.
This question is from Sammy. He says, is it true that natural athletes should not afford to gain more fat than an enhanced athlete after a diet or a prep?
I would argue an enhanced athlete cannot afford to gain as much body fat as a natural athlete. As a natural athlete, you actually need to regain more body fat for you to function properly, because the leaner you get, the more you will suppress your actual hormone function, and that's your thyroid, your testosterone, all the hormone function that is supported by your body weight, body fat levels, and calories. So as an assisted athlete, not only you store more visceral fat, so from outside in you look leaner, but you actually have more body fat inside, but you also have exogenous hormones coming in through testosterone, and in most cases when guys diet, they will use some sort of replacement thyroid. So you do not actually need to take as much drastic action to rebuild your hormone function as a natural athlete will. Now, natural athletes generally look softer with the body fat accrual that they actually have, but they actually store less visceral fat. So we've noticed that with assisted athletes, they will lose a lot of weight and not see that much of a big change. With natural athletes, you'll see a little bit of weight loss and you see a significant change visually, and that's for that reason. So I would actually argue it's other way around, to be honest.
So this is a really good question. Not necessarily bodybuilding related, but more business. What do you think of online coaching as a career for the long term?
If you're trying to get into it now, good luck. I think at the moment, because everyone's trying to be an online coach and people think it's super easy, people think that becoming an online coach will give them lots of free time and it's basically not a real job where they can just do what they want. The reality is we don't have days off. Like today's Sunday, for me, that's a normal day. Like I had a client call this morning for my team. I had to do some check-ins this morning as well for the guys that are in prep. Client replies, form clips. You don't get days off when you do coaching full time and you do it at the level at which you have to do it at to stand out from the crowd. So long term, I think it's great if you are truly passionate about it and you want to do it for the right reasons. If you want to do it just to earn money and have the freedom, it's just not the case. You don't get that. Not anymore. I think it might have been like that back in the day where guys coached online and you'd just get a one-word reply every week on email saying, good work, bro, keep going. But you just don't get that anymore with high-level coaching. So it just depends. I mean, if you're trying to get into it now and you're not established, you don't have a great physique, you don't have a skill set, you don't have the knowledge and years of experience, you are going to struggle because there's so many good coaches out there now and so many not so good coaches but great marketers. It's going to be very hard for you to kind of break through that crowd. I'm not saying it's not doable. I think it is, especially if you are quite passionate about it and you are good at what you do. It can be a great career path if you do it for the right reasons and you only take on what you can do comfortably. But as I truly believe with anything, do not put all your eggs in one basket. Try and diversify your incomes in a fashion as much as you possibly can, especially as soon as you do get established with it. If you are just trying to start off in any business endeavor, you need to be all in just with that one single thing. And I think that's another thing that I've noticed as of late. A lot of coaches are trying to do all these different things at the same time, when they haven't really built up the coaching enough to be able to warrant this. The same applies for any business endeavor, especially being self-employed or working for yourself.
So this question is from body_builder.
Hey, I want that. That is class. Sell me that profile, bro.
He said, do you do just programming, like a one-time personal training or like a plan or anything like that? Just like a one-time thing?
We don't tend to do it, but it's something I can potentially explore. Yeah, I don't tend to do it, but if somebody wants maybe a one-off tailored plan, it's an option that we can maybe speak about. So drop me an email. See what I can do for you guys.
This one is from somebody who lives in Sheffield.
Amazing. Big up Sheffield. JS Captures lives in Sheffield as well.
They said they're wanting to train at your gym for a few sessions a week. Is it a monthly fee or can they pay for a day session?
You can pay for either a day session or you can pay monthly or weekly. You don't need a direct debit. So you can come down and train for a day pass, a week pass, or a month pass, or you can sign up for the year. The options are limitless. You can go on UltraFlex website in the bio, so give that a look over and you'll look at all the prices there as well and see which option suits you the most. And if you want, always give me a shout on Instagram. I will reply and I'll be more than happy to see you and say hello.
So this one is a comment from on one of the push day videos, and they say, will a fly at the start of a session take away from the strength of doing a press?
Yes, it will. The main reason why I tend to start with a fly is when I am not at a body weight where I can comfortably handle higher weight, I always pre-exhaust with a fly. And tomorrow, we're actually filming Push with Joe, and I will show you some heavier pressing with no flies before. So I like to go through phases in my programming where I will do isolation work before my compound work, and then I will like to go through phases where I want maximum load exposure, where all my heavy work will be to begin with. At the moment, I'm the heaviest I've been, the biggest I've been, I'm the strongest I've been. I'm pretty accurate, I'm very familiar with the movements. I've been doing the exercise that I've got in my program for a long time, so I'm safe with them. So for me now, the goal is to try and basically get as strong as possible under as much load as we can, as safely as I can, and as accurately as I can. So tomorrow I will be pressing 70s, which is like 156 pounds. Dumbbells, and the goal is about 8 reps, so we'll see.
I think I remember you used to use pomegranate juice intra-workout. How come you don't use it anymore, and do you still recommend it?
So pomegranate juice has seen some great health benefits when it comes to heart health, and in particular lowering calcium. And pomegranate juice digests pretty well, and I used it when my intra-workout was like 130 grams of carbs. So the main reason why I used it was because I needed to get that much carbs in around my workout, so I was doing like 200 ml of pomegranate with a pre-meal and intra. The main reason for that was just trying to get my body weight up, trying to get the calories in. I don't use it now because I don't need to. I've got performance fuel and that does the job just fine. And at the moment I'm taking in 70 grams of performance fuel intra-workout, and to be honest, because it's such a good quality product, it goes in like butter. Called Kuba 10, trained by JP, you know the score.
This one is from Anthony.
I'm getting a bit worried because he read that comment, it was like...
This is a weird one that I've not heard of. I don't know if you've heard of this one. Have you ever done overhead shrugs in a Smith machine, seated? I don't know how you can do an overhead shrug.
What I think he means is like just a seated shrug in a Smith machine. What do you think? An overhead shrug? Please send me a video of you doing this and then I can review it. We can review it on the channel.
I think it might potentially be, like, you can mimic this for the camera, but maybe just like a shoulder press and just like retracted, almost like a pull down.
Yeah, I don't know how that works though, because it's like, it's more so like a protraction, not a shrug movement.
Yeah, the gravitational force is...
Yeah, it's coming down, not up, yeah. It's an interesting one.
When do you think is the right time to start using PEDs? Obviously in the case that someone has already made the decision.
I don't think there ever is. Whenever I speak to people that are planning on doing so, I always tell them, look, is it the right time for you? Are you adamant that you want to do this? And are you prepared to do this for the rest of your life? It's a conversation I have had with someone not long ago, actually, who was wanting to do it. And I said, look, it's like, it's not an easy decision to make, and it shouldn't be an easy decision to make, because ultimately, no matter how safe you do it, for some people, it might shave off a number of years of their life. Some people it might not. It depends. It's like genetics do not only dictate the results that you get. Genetics also dictate how well you can tolerate drugs. This is why you see some people smoking, live till 90, but you see some people smoking and they're riddled diseases after in the age of like 30. So genetic individual response varies massively person to person when it comes to use of any drugs, not just anabolics. So if you are quite literally wanting to take the plunge, if you know what I mean, it needs to be a decision that you have not taken lightly. You need to know how to eat. You need to know how to train properly. You need to know how to actually recover well. Like, your life needs to be pretty much dialed in so you can actually get the benefits of it. And if you can compete naturally first as well, I think that would go a long way as well. I think that would be a great stepping stone for anyone that's looking to start. At least compete once, at least do one diet, non-assisted, before you do take that leap. At least then you'll know if bodybuilding is for you or not. I think a lot of people start cycle without really realising that bodybuilding isn't for them.
I think maybe you can have an input on this. I thought that my food and everything was dialed in when I first started my cycle until we went to Vegas, and things wasn't as linear as I thought they were.
No, but another thing you have to consider is this. It's your first time doing a show, and post-show, first time especially, it's very hard for people to nail it, because me and Jordan actually spoke about this morning, and I pride myself on like really nailing down the post-show phase, because I know there is not many people that can do it. For me, the reason why I pride myself in it so much is because it's harder than prep. And I know, like, at that point, that's where 95% of people break. I kind of lean into that and I'm like, right, I'm not going to break. Like, I'm going to capitalize on this as much as possible. And prime example of that is as well Meg. Like, she's God knows how many weeks post-show now, 12 weeks post-show or something. And she looks incredible. Like, she's eating 2,900 calories per day on her rest day. Her training day on her upper body day is 3,300. And her lower body days are 3,600 calories. She's still extremely lean. How do you do that? 1, you have to work hard. 2, extremely consistent. 3, diet adherence. But it all comes with time. Like, when I did my first show at 16, trust me, I did not nail my post-show. I didn't have the guidance, I didn't have the experience, and I didn't know what to expect. I'm 30 years old now. I've done a fair few shows. What you do and how you live right now, Joe, is going to completely change over the next few years. As you get more successful and as you have more responsibility, you quite literally have to step up. For me, a big turning point was when I actually got really busy. It wasn't a point where and this will be a poor example because I actually did really well having a shit routine, but for me to go from doing really well to actually trying to become the person that I kind of aspire to be, it's taken me to really, really dial things in and be like, right, I can't live like this anymore. I need to have the structure in place. This is what I need to do to achieve this. And this is what it's going to take. The big turnaround moment was 2020 Spain show, when I had like 14 athletes compete on the same day as I was competing. And like that week alone, because of the workload that I had, like I remember like going to bed at like 9 o'clock, waking up at 5, and I was like, and that was like a big light bulb moment. I'm like, hold on a minute, this is allowing me to like breeze through all my work. And ever since then, I was like, right, there's no going back. I need to continue doing this, because clearly this is allowing me to like stay on top of my client work, my training, and continue to develop, improve, and even keep growing. So, bit off topic, but I think this brings you to a point where everyone needs to go through a time where they have a realization moment where I've made this mistake, this is who I want to be, this is what I want to get to, this is now what I need to do to get there. Write it down. That was deep.
You touched on setting smart goals in
Yes.
6 tips to make 2025 your year. How do you suggest we balance between ambitious goals and maintaining a realistic approach to avoid burnout?
So that's just like saying, how do you stay ambitious, chase your goal, get really successful, or stay mediocre? Because the people that aren't even thinking about a burnout stay mediocre. Let me tell you one thing. If you do not experience burnout, you are not fucking working hard enough. You need to quite literally fuck around to find out. If you don't push yourself to that point, you don't know what your limit is. If you have experienced a burnout, good. If you don't experience it again, you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough again. You need to keep pushing yourself and you need to keep finding your limits. If you do get to that point where you're getting burnt out, have a moment to just appreciate the work that you've put in to be able to get there. I think it's a good thing. I think a lot of people shy away from it. And it's like, if you've got the opportunity, take it. Because if you don't, somebody else will. There's always someone waiting around the corner to step their foot in your shoes. Don't be that guy.
How would you introduce cheat meals into your diet? I'm on a lean bulk, but trying to keep fat gain minimal, but still enjoy some off-plan meals from time to time.
Eat to your needs. You need to basically eat within your calorie limit. Off-plan meals, and I try and explain this to clients all the time, actual off-plan meals are not a problem. What is your behavior around them and the choices you make around them. So, for example, if I go out to eat, I will make sure that my meal is roughly the same calories as the meal that I'm missing for that meal. So my meal 5 is 800 calories. If I go out to eat, I will make sure that that's 800 calories. If it's more, then I likely lower following meals in calories to try and match it. Like some people say, oh, it's okay to just, have a meal off a week. But generally, these are the people that just get fat really quickly. Like if you're eating an extra 2,000 calories in one go on top of your meals every week, you are just going to get really fat really quickly, unless you are a genetic marble, which most of you are not. And I'll be honest, the most progress I have ever made is, again, controlling my calorie surplus. Small, consistent calorie surplus over time. Where I see this flawed with the most as well is when people are hungry, when people are post-prep, they'll keep having a big cheat meal every week, just once a week. And in essence, they're actually under-eating all week, which is, one, leading to poor sleep, poor training performance, and continuity in actually gaining weight off the back of that one meal. So for me, you need to eat to your needs. And I think a lot of guys in Britain now are clicking onto it a little bit, but they're just a little bit behind, a few years behind. But I'm glad to see it because I've been preaching about it for many years now. And I think a lot of people are catching up to it now and they're realizing that actually they wasted a lot of time just blowing up quickly through inability to control themselves. And look, another way you've got to look at it is sometimes it's just hard. You cannot expect to have people be able to have that self-control as well, especially in bodybuilding, because let's face it, bodybuilding, no matter how strong-minded you are, if you are not extremely experienced with it, it will absolutely smash your food relationship. You're not going to have a good relationship with food doing bodybuilding at an extreme high level. Tell you that now for a fact.
So I think I might know what this guy likes to indulge in from time to time, because there's two questions that relate very closely to each other.
Let's go. Shall I strap in for that one? Shall I put my seatbelt on?
How have you seen THC affect positively or negatively the pursuit of bodybuilding in terms of sleep, diet, blood work, mentality, etc.? Also, do the blue light blocking glasses hide red eyes from parents asking for a friend?
Amazing. Yes, they do actually. So RA Optics, code Kuba 10, if you want yours. Now, with THC, it's a funny one. One of my real good friends, Simon Lowe, if you're watching this, big up. He's what I would say Bob Marley. He's waking up, wake and bake, baby. Doesn't affect him much, I think it's person dependent. Like I said earlier, I think every drug will have an impact on every person on an individual basis. And I think as long as you use it and you don't abuse it, you're good to go. Does it have a positive impact on blood work? I don't think it has a positive impact on it. It can increase your prolactin and estrogen. I have seen that in blood work. When mixed with actual anabolics, it does drive the anabolics to have more neurotoxicity, which is not a good thing either, so not very good for your brain. However, as anything in this life, right, if you having a few edibles now and again, or even a little doobie now and again, probably won't hurt. If you're waking and baking all day, every day, it's probably not going to be good for your cognitive function. So I have seen people that are extremely productive using weed, and then I have seen other cases, as soon as people start dabbling, they just get incredibly lazy and they don't do anything. So you've got, two different perspectives there that you need to look at. If you know that the weed is going to put you in that spot, then maybe just have it really late at night when you're trying to chill out before bed. But even then, it won't really let you sleep well at all. So it's a give or take, right?
When's the best time of day to take magnesium biglycinate?
Spread it across your day. I actually take it first thing in the morning. I take it with meal 2 on training day. I don't take it with pre-workout meal. I have it with post-workout meal, then I have it with meal 5 and 6. And I actually have 1,000 milligram meal 1, meal 2, 1,000 post-workout, 1,000 meal 5, and I have like 3,000 pre-bed, which in essence, it comes up to about, it says 1,000, but what's bioavailable about that is like 250. So what you actually get out of 1,000 one from JP, for example, is like 250. When you count that up, I'll probably get about 2,000 milligram a day. And I think it's essential. I've done that for a long time now as well. And I do think your magnesium RDAs, which is recommended daily amount, is much below of what you should actually be taking in. And again, the endless benefits of magnesium. I follow Dr. William Wallace on Instagram. He actually puts out tremendous content. And he posts about magnesium like weekly because it has so many benefits. I actually gave my dad a ton of magnesium earlier from Chain by JP because he does need to take it as well. He's diabetic, self-induced. He got fat, but he's actually lost a lot of weight now. Like he was 98 kilos down to like 82 now or something silly. So I think a little bit more to go and I think he'll be able to kick his diabetes. And it's a shame really because when he was younger, he was always in good shape. Same with mum. Mum's a machine though. She can eat anything and she's just fine. So yeah, magnesium, definitely need to take a higher amount, especially if you are dabbling in any anabolics. They actually deplete your magnesium levels. So your magnesium intake should be even higher if you are using anabolics or if you're drinking a large amount of coffee, smoking, etc. Like all the bad things that you're supposed to do or that you do, take more magnesium basically.
How often should you weigh yourself? Daily, weekly? What would you suggest?
I would always suggest daily. And main reason for that is your body weight will fluctuate a lot on a daily basis based on your sleep, hydration, salt intake, what you've eaten before. I'll give you an example, right? On a daily basis, I take in about 35 to 40 grams of fiber. If I was to cut that fiber in half, I would probably drop 2 pounds overnight. I drink 6 litres of water a day. If I was to manipulate that, my weight would change. I take 6 grams of salt a day. If I was to have more salt or less salt, my weight would change. Do you get what I'm saying? So if you're only weighing yourself once a week, you're not actually getting a true data of what your body weight is because let's say Sunday the 14th, you could be 275 pounds. You weigh yourself again Sunday the 25th, 10 days later, or 23rd, 7 days later, and you weigh the same, but that could just be a weight fluctuation. Whereas the day before, you could have been 2-3 pounds lighter. So the way I actually do it myself and clients is I weigh in every single day, and I work off a weekly average. I don't work off one single body weight weighing. That way, I make my decision off a weekly average as to see if someone's actually gaining weight or losing weight. Guys, thank you so much for today. Want your question answered? Comment below and I'll get to them. Thank you guys. Peace out. Take care for now.